We leave the verdant Indonesian landscapes behind and head into the highlands, home to some of the best coffee estates in the world, perched at elevations above 5,200 feet. We are welcomed by some coffee cherries that range in color from green to vivid crimson and are ready to be hand-picked. As we arrive at the coffee plantations, the passionate Subak Abians stand out. The laborers carefully hand-pick the delicious cherries from the tree and place them into their baskets. Some plantations also utilize a portable device called a derricadiras. A long stick with two vibrating hands at the end is used by workers, where the cherries will be shaken off the branches by the vibrations. To catch the fallen cherries, laborers will first drape a canvas below the coffee tree. Laborers are ensuring that the ripe cherries are a vivid red hue. They are really tasty and delicious. Once the cherries are collected into the carry-ons, they are manually put into sizable bags and transported back to the village, where they are poured from the sacks into sizable water-filled containers. After being manually cleaned by flipping them over, they are then carried to the de-seeder hauler and scooped out of the rising water and put into baskets. The pulp, or outer skin of the cherry, is removed by pouring the cherries into the hauler. The machine uses a shredder blade to remove the outer pulp, sending the pulp out one side and the fresh beans into a big container on the other side. Following this procedure, the fresh beans are hand-washed and sorted to get rid of any leftover pulp, leaves, and entire cherries. The fresh beans are then spread out on raised beds or big tarps on the ground to begin their drying process. This process takes 7 to 14 days. The farmers will turn the beans by hand as well as raking them. The beans require raking hourly or every few hours. The beans need to be rotated to achieve equal drying and drying to a moisture content of 11% before they are placed in big bags. If the beans are not at the correct moisture rate, they will start to spoil and go moldy in the large bags. After the beans have dried to a moisture rate of 11%, the workers will scoop up the dry beans with a shovel and bag them into sacks that will weigh around 60 kilograms each. The workers will bag the coffee beans and put them into a truck and drive them to the storage facility, which functions as a sort of marketplace where they may be sold. Before the master roaster begins the roasting process, he will assess the beans and assess their quality, looking for and eliminating any debris that could have been left behind, making sure the beans satisfy their criteria for quality, etc. The coffee roaster is then brought to the appropriate temperature, which, depending on the roast profile chosen for the beans, may reach as high as 485 degrees Fahrenheit. The beans will roast for a maximum of 20 minutes. However, depending on the origin, the beans, and the ultimate desired roast profile for those beans, they will often roast for up to 14 minutes for a lighter, brighter roast. To avoid further roasting, the beans must be cooled down quickly. The master roaster will open the door, allowing the beans to fall into the cooling drum below. Cool air is then forced through the cooling pan, and the cooling pan arms will rotate to guarantee that the beans cool down quickly. The roaster always enjoys the smell of freshly roasted coffee beans to make sure they meet his standards as well. After the beans have completely cooled, they are put into coffee packing bags. Some of the bags the coffee roaster provides have built-in valves to encourage degassing, allowing the gases to escape through the valve. But not all of them have valves on the bags. These beans with no valve provided usually are not considered fresh, since the coffee bag may have been left on the roaster's shelf or on a retailer's shelf while it was waiting to be bought. We're sustainable beans. Come and enjoy our freshly roasted specialty coffee at home. We roast to order and ship the same day, ensuring you get your coffee at its peak flavor. Thanks for joining us on this Cherry to Cup edition.